Peace and power, Instructor X. So, what I wanted to go over today, man, is that we have so many new AR-15 owners. And one of the things that we tend to do, we tend to spend a lot of money on accessories and not understanding exactly what those accessories capabilities are. So, today I wanted to cover some basic stuff. We're going to go over the difference between a red dot, a low power variable optic, and a scope. So we're going to real quickly go over this. And for you guys that's been doing this, man, and you guys already understand, this video is not for you. It's basically for those AR-15 owners and those new owners who haven't made a decision where they want to spend their money yet. So hopefully we will give them some information and save them a lot of trouble and a lot of money buying unnecessary stuff. So let's start with the red dot, man. First and foremost, this is my Smith & Wesson M&P. I've had it for about 10, 11 years. And what I'm running on the M&P is a Leopold 1 MOA red dot. And with this red dot, it gives you pristine clarity anywhere from 1 to 100 yards. It gives you quick target acquisition. You can get on target fast. It has zero parallax and unlimited eye relief. You can shoot it with both eyes open. So this is going to be your short distance option, one of them. I'm just saying a red dot. It doesn't have to be a Leopold. It's got a lot of new optics out there, some real pretty ones. Hollow Suns and 6 Hours, and you got all type of you got your EOTechs. But what I like about this thing, man, it's built like a tank. And I don't have to worry about it at the range, and I don't have to baby. I don't want an optic that I have to baby. So I've chose this optic, and it's going to serve the purpose that I need it for, or short range, because I need an optic to do two things. I need it to hold zero, and I need it to be tough. So this I would use anywhere from 1 yard out to 100 yards. But here's the thing. You can shoot this optic past 100 yards. As long as you can see, you can shoot this optic. So you can hit a target at 200 yards with a red dot. You can hit a target at 300 yards if you can see it with a red dot. So it's not just defined to short range, but it is basically a short range optic because your eyes themselves can only see so far. So again, this is my Smith & Wesson, and I have a bipod on it. I don't run a bipod on this particular optic. I mean, on this particular rifle. I just have it on there for this video purpose. So Leopold, and again, you can use whatever red dot that you like. I just wanted to show you basically what your limitations are and what your pros and cons are for a red dot versus a LPVO or a scope. So this would be one of your short range options, and it can go out to mid range. Here we have my aerial precision, and on here we have a Vortex Strike Eagle 1 through 6 power. And what that does, it gives me, I could take this thing all the way down to 1 power. And what that does, it gives me the clarity of a red dot at 1 power. But here's the thing, and I need you new gun owners to be aware of this. When you get these 1 through 6s, 1 through 8s, 1 through 10s, when you back them down to 1, they're not necessarily a 1. They're more like 1.5. So they don't give you absolute clarity at shorter distances. Meaning is when you look through this red dot, you could just see clear through it, just like you're looking through your car window. Unlimited eye relief, shoot both eyes open. With this, even at 1 power, it still has a little bit of magnification. It still has a just a little distortion. So anything under 25 yards is probably going to be distorted a little bit. But at 1.5 power, you can see under 25 yards. It just doesn't have the distinction of a red dot. But now when you start cranking this thing up and you go from 1 to say 6 power, now you can go anywhere from 25 yards all the way out to about, with a 1 through 6, I'm gonna say with clarity and precision, to about 400 yards. That's not to say you're limited to 400 yards, because some people just can shoot better. As long as you can see the target, you can hit it. But I would max this thing out about 500 yards, about 500. But again, what makes it different from the red dot is you have magnification and you can bring your target in closer. So anywhere from 25 to 400 yards, you're going to be in pristine condition if you choose to go with a low power variable optic. So red dot, short range hitter, bam, 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 bam. Also, we running the binary trigger on that. As you can see, we got the adjustment on both sides. You know, firearm is on safe. None of them are loaded anyway. Firearm is on safe. It's got a magazine in it, but it's not loaded. And so now we're running the Vortex Strike Fire Eagle 1 through 6. I would run this 1 to 100 yards. I would run this 25 to 300 yards to 400 yards. But again, you can still reach out to 3 if you can see. Again, you can reach out to 5 if you can see. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to know what your bills is. But if you're going to go shorter, 25 to 100 yards, this would definitely be a better option for you. But if you're going to try to reach out just a little bit further, the low power variable optic would be something you want. And again, I'm making this video to empower my people and my comrades with knowledge. So here you have your third option, which would be a scope. This is a Palmetto Armory build that I just took my time and belted, getting the parts. So as you see, none of these firearms are they're not Daniel Defense. They're not Night Armament. I didn't pay $2,500, $3,000 or none of that, but they'll all reach out and touch you. I can guarantee you that. And we also have a upgraded trigger in the Palmetto. We've got a CMG trigger where we can run it with a little bit of speed. And when you're shooting distance, man, you want a trigger that's going to break a little lighter. We'll get into that as well. So what we have here is not a lot of magnification on this scope, but this one is a 2.5 to 10. So this one can reach you out possibly 600, 650, maybe even 700 yards according to the shooter. So this scope actually stops right here at this line. The rest of this is just basically a sunshade, and you screw this on and it blocks out that glare of the sun, and it also makes it harder for somebody who might be stalking you in the woods to see the glare from your lens cover. And with this scope, man, you see you can make on the spot adjustments. So if you're shooting 2 inches low or 2 inches high, you just dial this thing in. It's a 1/4 MOA, so for you to move it 1 inch is equal to 4 clicks. So if you want to dial 2 inches up, you take it 4 clicks back. If you want to dial 2 inches down, you take it 4 clicks forward by being a 1/4 MOA. So know your rifle, man. This one, the Vortex, they say zero it at 50 yards. And after that, you have lines that'll take you from 50 yards, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. I wouldn't be shooting 600 yards with this, but I mean, if it can do it, I would stay around 400 yards with an LPVO, according to what it is. And this is a 1 through 6 power. You spend more money, get you a 1 through 10 power, you're going to get a little bit more effectiveness. True scope, 2.5 to 10. Now, this is just on my AR-15. I have bigger scopes on my 308, as those rounds will reach out a little bit further with more power. But the thing about an AR-15, man, you only have a certain distance with a 223 5.56. Can you reach out to 700-800 yards? Yeah, you're gonna have to aim for the sky and let it drop in. But can you do it? Yeah, technically you can. You could probably even shoot it 1,000 yards according to what type of ammunition that you have. But what we're talking about for precision, I try to get an optic that stays within the performance of the firearm itself. So again, on the Palmetto Armory, we have a Vortex. What is this? I can't remember the name of it. I'll put it in the comments. We have a Vortex 2.5 to 10. And again, you could just dial it in on the fly, man. You see the difference. The dials are on the outside on a lot of your scopes, and you can make adjustments right there on the spot. These lens caps are covered. Usually when you zero it, you use the optic, which has the images etched on the glass. So if you need to go 200 yards, then the optic has lines on it that you go to those lines both for elevation and windage, and when you can move it over. And as long as you understand your optic, you can make adjustments to shooting out to further ranges. So again, we could take this thing out probably 700 yards would be the max at 10 power. And anything under 700 yards, man, 500, 400, 300, you're just going to see it with pristine clarity. Now, the thing about a scope and an LPO versus a red dot, these things are going to have like parallax, man. It's like looking through a magnifying glass, and your eye has to take time to adjust. And you have to have your head or your face at a certain spot, because these things they have limited eye relief, so if you don't have your cheek on the weld at a certain spot, then it's going to take you a while to make the physical adjustments with your eyes to get yourself right on target. So 2.5 to 10 power, 700 yards, that would be the max. LPVO, anywhere from 25 yards to 400 yards with a 6 power. And again, we have our red dot, and we're up close and we're going at it. I'm going to give you the business. So Instructor X, I hope this tutelage video was helpful in saving a couple of people from going out spending money on something that you really don't need and you're going to wind up replacing later. Peace and power.